Hi, I'm Kent,
I'm Jose.
and we're from Casa Flora. We're here today to almost finish our winter dormancy video. As you can see behind us, this crop is almost ready to go. We have to apologize because last time we were out here, the sound did not work. So we have lots of nice video, but there really isn't any sound to go with it. And so we're going to try to cover some of the things that we talked about, and you'll see video of what it really looked like about 4 weeks ago. When we were out here 4 weeks ago, it was about the 1st of February. This house was really bare. None of this Japanese paint was up yet. They were just starting to pop up with little fiddleheads on them. There was, it really looked like there wasn't anything here. I asked Jose why he killed all the plants. Turns out that in fact they were still just sleeping. But we increased the temperature and ran 65, 70 degree nights starting right around the end of January. And here we are 5 weeks later, and this is the result. Everything's popped up. They have sent out their first flush, which was formed last fall. And because it went dormant, they never developed and never grew out. Now that they're out of dormancy, the first ones that were formed last year popped up, and they were a little bit smaller. And now we're getting the second flush that formed during dormancy and is in fact forming now. And those are 2, maybe 3 times larger than the fronds that were coming out before. If you look at the Japanese paint, the new fronds that are coming out really have a lot of nice color. The first fronds that came out from last year, they were okay. They had a little bit of midrib color, but they were really fairly pale. Now the new growth coming out is bigger, has much darker color. Jose, I noticed that there was a lady in the back that was watering. Have you changed your watering habits from this winter now?
Yes.
Would you like to tell me how?
Well, I mean, once the product start breaking dormancy, they'll use water faster, so it evaporates much faster. So you have to make sure that you water the plants and saturate the soil to avoid dehydration.
Okay, this is really the second week in March right now.
Yes.
And so you're watering more, you're fertilizing. Are you treating them for insects or anything like that?
Yes, I treated for fungus gnats and some possible disease, fungal disease, as a prevention, and possibly caterpillar issue sometimes, but rarely we have that issue because we do treat it monthly as a prevention.
And it's pretty cold right now for caterpillars to be out.
You'd be surprised.
This is true. As we speak right now, on the other side of this wall, we have peach trees that are in full bloom, just to give you some idea what time of year we're actually in. Our temperatures at night are ranging anywhere from 32 to 50 degrees outside. Daytime temperatures are anywhere from 50 to mid 80s right now in Texas. It's just a roller coaster this time of year. Jose, are these ready to ship?
Most of this product is ready to ship, and there is some pots that are not quite ready yet. Maybe within a week or two they'll be ready, but as we speak, most of the product is ready to go.
So something like this product is ready to ship?
Yep.
Will it continue to get taller if
yeah.
you allow
the
these
next
fronds?
set, the fronds that are coming out, the fiddleheads that you see unrolling, they will get much bigger than the ones, the first flush that we got, because this is the first one, and you can see they're much smaller.
Another thing to mention is the Japanese paint that are out in the gardens in this area right now are still dormant. They have not thrown up fronds at all. There's no evidence of fiddleheads or anything. And that's because of the soil temperatures. Because Jose came in here and elevated the soil temperature 65, 70 degrees at night, it's been warm enough that these ferns will go ahead and throw their fronds up and begin to grow. Outside, the soil temperature is still in the 40s and 50s. That's too cold for these things to grow. They've been released from dormancy, but they're being held in check by the physical ground temperature outside. Jose, let's compare that to this one, which really looks a little bit small yet to send out and be able to sell. How long will it take for this to be saleable?
Then within the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's like when you have several brothers. Some of them are smaller and some of them are taller. So you can see the new fiddleheads are starting to coming up. So they'll be okay within 3 to 4 weeks.
So if you're shipping these as soon as possible, you won't be able to bench run this, but you'll be able to get maybe 70% of them out. But if you were to go ahead and let them set and weren't trying to make if you weren't trying to get them into a store at a certain time, then you could give them all an additional 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, and everything would go out bench run.
Yes.
Okay.
But I would think I would get probably 90%,
90%
as we speak.
Okay. Okay, the last video about 4 weeks ago, we talked about the Japanese holly over here. We were talking about how tall it was and whether it was bright enough in here. It doesn't look to me like it's changed very much since 4 weeks ago, but I'm not out here all the time. What's actually happened with the Japanese holly?
Well, again, the same thing happened to the holly as the painted fern. That you have one flush of new fronds that already developed, and then the second one is coming as well. So what it makes the difference it has made to me, the potties get fuller because they got more foliage in it. The height is not noticeable, but you can see that much more foliage on those pots.
So they haven't gotten any taller, but they've just filled out.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it. I can see it from here, but if you scan down the bench, the material in the front, which is closest to the camera, is next to the pads and next to the end of the greenhouse. And it's quite a bit shadier than it is down here halfway down the greenhouse. And from my perspective, as you scan down this wall, in the first 10 feet, it's much taller than it is as you go down the bench. And so it looks like there may be a light differential here as well.
That's one possibility, but what I really think it is when they water, the foliage leaning to the side a little bit. That's why you see that lower spot in there.
So if you come in here and water heavily with a lot of force, you can knock the fronds over, the fronds lay down, and it takes 3 or 4 days for them to stand back up. So you want to be careful about how they water within a week of shipment.
That's correct.
Hi, I'm here with Jose the Fern Whisperer, and we're talking about his dormant crop again. We thought we'd come over and show you the brilliance that we have. We showed you this 4 weeks ago in the other video that we had. I just wanted to give you an update on it. If you remember last time, and I'm sure that you're seeing side-by-side pictures right now, that this was just starting to throw new fronds. It was much, much darker than this. Jose, what's going on with this crop?
I'm going to show you what has happened over the last 5 weeks since we have the last video. And I'm going to pull a pot and show it to you what has happened. You can see this much larger fronds, which is the fronds that were dormant, and we were seeing just the tiny fiddleheads were showing up 5 weeks ago, but now all of them develop as a mature fronds. I can show you, this is the old fronds that has developed. It went to before it went to dormancy.
So this was last year's?
Yes.
And went through the winter here?
Right.
And then this stuff, which is much, much lighter, is the new fronds that haven't matured yet?
Correct.
how long will these stay with this color before
It takes probably about 10 to 14 days, and it starts changing green, dark green.
Okay. This crop looks much more uniform than the Japanese paint. Is it just an optical illusion? Are these fronds just larger and so they cover more space?
Well, one of the reasons that I can explain to you, this is something I have seen over the years. If the product gets a longer period of time and the weather it's much colder, that will help you to I don't know what causes it, but it will like the plant stores more energy, and when they break dormancy, it's much more aggressively. And it's one of the things that I see on a painted fern. Since we have not had many days of really cold weather, that's part of the issue. But that's not a problem. It's just beneficial.
So, if we had had a much colder winter, been able to keep this down around 35 for
Between
a
30
long
and 35,
period,
that
yeah,
will be much more beneficial.
these would be popping up more uniform and have better color in the whole nine yards.
That's correct.
I see. Okay. Next time you see Jose and I, most probably we're going to be standing beside a truck, and this house is going to be rolling into the truck. See how well this is rooted. This is one of the plants we've been showing you throughout this whole series. In fact, this tray that Jose pulled the plant out of is the tray that we've been tracking.
As you see, today is the day that we start shipping these plants that we've been recording for the last couple of months. The growth or from the beginning to finishing. So that's the final for this product, this variety. As you see, this is what it looks like when it goes out to the customer.